And we're live.
Hi.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm excited about today's episode. This is JHC and Friends, Jay and April Main. We've known each other, I guess, maybe since I moved to Tallahassee, because it's crazy. We moved in the same neighborhood. You guys were there before us, and that's how we originally met. And meeting one of the first business owners here in town, really, and just being such a friendly person. I was surprised to see him doing the actual work of main cleaning, when we needed some floor work. And then, and when you said you're the business owner, I was like, oh, that's awesome. So cool.
Those are the good old days.
And then let me give a quick intro for y'all, and then we can obviously start talking about your story. So today on the show, we are joined by April and Jay Main, the husband and wife team behind Main Cleaning Solutions, one of Tallahassee's top-rated cleaning and restoration companies. Since launching in 2013, Main Cleaning Solutions has earned a stellar reputation for high-quality carpet cleaning, tile and grout restoration, pressure washing, and emergency water damage response. Known for their hands on service and 5-star customer reviews, April and Jay have built a loyal client base across North Florida, all while staying grounded in professionalism, trust, and hard work. We're excited to dive into their story and how they've built such a standout local brand.
Awesome.
Thanks to my team and probably ChatGPT's help.
I like it.
That was such a great intro. So yeah, like I said, it's amazing. It's a family-owned business. You've been running this for a while now, and it does not come without its challenges, right? Any couple that can run a business together, I really, really admire because that's not easy.
Yeah.
Not always easy.
No, it's not.
We're a good team.
So, what is the story behind you starting the business?
Basically, I ran a pretty big company prior to starting my own company for 17 years, and it was time to part ways. My wife, I came to April, and I was like, "Hey, we need to do our own thing," and I knew I had the confidence to do it. And we went to her dad, and we had like a little powwow, and he was asking me, "Well, son, how much money do you think you can make a week or a month?" And I was like a deer in headlights. I didn't know how to respond. I didn't have an answer, and I was super nervous to do this. And to get started, he loaned us $20,000. So basically, I bought a van that didn't have air conditioning. Um, it cleaned good, but it was rough. So I rode in that thing for several years, did all the work myself. April did the paperwork and still held a full-time job. And then I think after 3 years, we hired our first employee, and then we kept growing from there. And we got up to 6 vans at one time. So we've done a good job. Good, it hasn't been easy, but it's been fun for sure.
It's one of those businesses that can't fully be replaced by AI like anytime soon. So
Yeah.
y'all are safe. And there's a big need, I guess, in general here in this area. There's such a huge demand for home services, right? I
Yeah.
think, especially the young generation of wannabe business owners, we think like, oh, tech is cool, but there's a lot to it with services, home services,
Yeah.
and they call it like brick. It's not brick and mortar, but they call it the boring business.
Yeah.
But they make good money.
Which is why a lot of kids, I think, now are starting to look more at different trades instead of just going right to college because a lot of the trades are dying.
Yeah.
Not necessarily
Right.
a trade business, but something that you can do physically, and it's
Yeah.
like you said, not going to necessarily be taken over.
Well, another thing is you gotta, as a business owner, you have to evolve in different. A lot of people don't have carpet anymore, so we had to decide. All right, are we going to add more things that we can do? So I had to retrain my guys to clean vinyl floors. What we need to do with that. We clean a lot of furniture and a lot of rugs. The rug cleaning business is kind of booming for us now because we have a facility where we can actually pick up, clean them, enzyme the rugs, dry them, then bring them back to the client. and we're not charging an arm and a leg to do so. And it's just easier because clients can't bring you rugs that are 12 by 12. They got no way to bring it to. So that's what I do mainly now is I do the pickup, the cleaning, and the drop off. And my guys are out in the field cleaning, furniture, tile, and stuff.
So with April, like with your perspective, what was it like when he came to me like, hey, I think I want to try to do my own thing?
Well, we had discussed it for a few years prior, and Jay always likes to shoot for the stars, which I love that about him. But I was like, okay, I think we have to get our head out of the clouds just a little.
Yeah.
So some of the price point and the business plan just was a little unattainable at the time for us. This opportunity got presented, and with the help of our family and his wherewithal with the business side of it, it was a good idea at the time, and it took off really quickly. So it really was a matter of right place, right time. So.
And the good news is I had a huge client base with the other company I worked for. So basically when I decided to do this, they all came with us.
And we didn't take business, so we're clear.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
didn't take business.
It was people that,
But they also were resolving that side of their business.
Yeah.
So it was
Right.
like
it worked out.
Right. So it literally was. It couldn't have lined up better.
Yeah. Basically all the old employees came to work for us. So we've been there now for 20 something years, some of us. And we have a really good crew. And my wife and I are super strict on who we hire. They're all FDLE background checked. Our guys stay because we pay them well. We treat them like family. And that was my biggest thing is I worked for somebody for so long. It was a good job. I got paid pretty well, but I always told myself, am I ever going to do this? I want to make sure that my turnover isn't late every month. So what do I need to do or what would we need to do? So we have healthcare, paid vacations, 401k for these guys, you name it. I mean, I just, I figure if I'm home eating well, they're going to be home eating well also. That's my biggest thing,
And that's what makes a great business, like how you're treating your employees. And one of the biggest challenges that companies face are turnover, just even as the generation gets younger and younger. So it's amazing how you guys have kept retained a lot of your team members now for so
long. A lot of our
long.
employees are a little bit older, but we do have some new younger employees, which we're happy about. And we've lucked out with that, getting the right people and having that mindset of they want to work. So
we have a lot of incentives for these guys. I mean, after hours, they all get commission, which they make really good money doing that. Instead of just hourly or overtime.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of incentives, and if they sell a job, they get commission or anything like that. Because I want them to feel like if they put in the effort, they're going to get rewarded for it, And
it's not because we can also kind of teach them, hey, you're the company, you're the face of the company as well. Sell up so that you can make that extra money.
Yeah.
You've done a great job with your team. You've also done a great job keeping customers happy. What's been your philosophy with that? Like, I'm a happy customer, obviously, so.
We're glad.
Well, the biggest thing, we've been debating for years about going to like an answering service. The problem is with that, you lose touch with your clients somewhat. Somebody calls you at 6 o'clock, they're going to get an answering service. These people don't know how to answer questions. And if they get annoyed, they're probably going to pick up the phone and call somebody else, or they'll wait till the next day and call you. But I'm glued to my phone 24/7. And people ask me, well, why do you have a 5-star rating? Well, if there's something wrong, let's say we do a job and let's say we did your house, Julia, and something was wrong, not major, just something small, you're going to pick up the phone and call me, and we're going to make it right. And that's what I was telling my clients. If something's wrong, just call me and we'll make it right. It's rarely that it happens, but if it happens, we make it right.
So in a roundabout way.
Customer service. Yeah. We're big on that,
And it's great because there are companies in town that don't care about customer service, apparently. I don't understand. But yeah, that's why you have over 800 positive reviews, like you're at 5 stars in Google and lots more on Facebook. And everybody, whenever, somebody asks, I'm looking for someone, who can do whatever you guys all obviously do. And I'll see people, I don't even have to volunteer to tag y'all because somebody else is doing it,
And the older I've gotten is, I like to network with other cleaners in town, other companies, because we refer a lot of people. I'm very honest with my clients. If I can't do it, I'm going to refer somebody that I know that can do the job correctly for you. Like hardwood floor refinishing or even area rugs that I know that I can't do. I'll refer them to, White's or, rug cleaning or whoever. And the other day I got a phone call. They're like, you've given me so many referrals throughout the years, and I've never called you to say thank you. I didn't tell you about this, but he's like, I appreciate all the work you've given me throughout the years. What can I do for you? I was like, nothing. I was like, just do a good job for whoever refer you to, So it's always like greed. It's not helping other people out,
And there's something about that.
A lot about the business and you as an owner is that you're not trying to just grab everything, even if you know you really can't do it. You're willing to say, I can't, but I know somebody great that can.
Yeah.
So that says a lot to people.
Yeah, there's something respectful to someone who's being honest.
Right.
And say, I can't do it all, or I can't do this for sure. I don't specialize in this, and that's okay. I think in the beginning, it's tempting for anyone starting new. You want to say you can. Something about pride, I don't know. But yeah, you stay in your lane. So the most popular, you say, like, and even for Google, it shows that carpet cleaning, y'all pull up in the top rankings. What I really love what y'all do for my tiles.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh my God. As much as I can steam mop my floors, it does not do justice.
Yeah.
So I beg Philip, I'm like, can we please bring them in, to just make it look normal?
The biggest thing is I've had some clients, they call, new clients, they'll call you and say, are you using chemicals or what are you using? We don't use chemicals. Everything we use, we spend a lot of money on detergents. So we'll have different detergents for cotton, for different types of carpet, tile and grout. We have different products for that. We spend a lot of money on that stuff, and I'm very strict on what we use and what we don't use. So everything's safe for kids, pets. We don't use anything harsh, and that's why we do a good job.
Yeah, you guys are great communicators. And you pick up the phone, you call back, and that's what has made the experience wonderful and easy to refer. And then, one of my favorite things, which make sure that we share the before and afters. You guys have a lot of those and a lot of positive reviews, obviously. Make sure that we share those. What kind of challenges have you run into? And how do you usually handle it together? Do you both go through a lot of the decisions together, the bigger picture?
Yeah, the bigger picture for sure. Basically, day-to-day operations, Jay is more in control of as far as ordering and what he likes to use and do with the guys and what's on the trucks and whatnot. The biggest growing pain, I think, for us outside of normal things like employees or hiring new, I would say probably has been more kind of finding that lane and accommodating, like he was saying, when there isn't as much carpet in certain areas anymore, what are we going to pivot and do different? But he's very good at staying kind of in the know and what's coming down the pipeline, where should we kind of pivot to without getting away from what we really, our bread and butter per se would be. So
yeah,
those are our biggest things.
Yeah, it's slowly figuring out that bigger is not always better. One time we were bigger, and I had to find that sweet spot where, I was comfortable with. And, it's just, when we were running 7 vans at one time, it was just a lot to handle. You have to chase a lot more work that may not pay you.
Mm-hmm.
We figured that out that, now we've got a good core of clients that pay us and treat us well, and we treat them well, and it's worked out.
And it's not just residential, you also have larger clients too.
And
yeah.
that's usually the larger clientele is apartments and different properties. That's where we really were trying to not get away from at all, but just making sure who are we working with? Are they working with us as quick as we're working for them?
Yeah.
So,
Right.
but residential clients, they're our favorite part of everything because they're what get us in the door everywhere, and they are the ones that word of mouth and that you're seeing on Facebook or neighborhood sites that are like, hey, call me in cleaning. Those are the people that we really want to cater to.
Yeah, because 10 years ago, these vans were, well, actually 15 years ago, these vans were in the $40,000 range, set up with the equipment. Now they're up to about 110. So that's what I'm trying to train my clients. Like, we're not pulling up in a rug doctor, in the back of a pickup truck. So it's expensive, and the chemicals and the gas and everything else that we use. It's just there's a lot that goes with it.
Well, and
You
what
guys,
say without naming any names or anything like that, but what we have found, and I've told Jay this as we've grown, is that people might not always like the price at first, but they always come back because they realize after they've tried somebody else or they've done something themselves, renting something at Publix is just not the same.
No,
That those days are past. So I think his business motto and what he's done with buying the correct chemicals and having the nice equipment, even though it is expensive. That's what keeps people coming back because nobody else can do it the way that they're doing it.
Yeah.
So
actually, you guys have been very reasonable with pricing because, it could be there's a lot more in general, just because you're saving them so much time and headache, the quality of service, all of that.
it's recent price increase, and we hadn't had one in probably 10 years at least.
What I tell everybody is rent goes up every year. Everything goes up every year.
Yeah.
And finally, we were sitting there like, we need to go up. We haven't gone up in 10 years.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to be so high to where, basically I still want to be affordable for people because truly you want to have your carpet cleaned at least twice a year.
Mm-hmm.
Have tile done at least once a year. To keep up, I don't know, if you buy brand new carpet, you're going to have a warranty with it. You want it cleaned. If it's cleaned properly and you don't leave the carpet too wet, it's safe. You can clean your carpet every day if you like it. So,
And there's some clients who do it monthly, right? Like you have some clients that do a lot more.
Yeah, we do.
I mean, I want to clean my tile more than once a year.
Yeah. Well, it depends on, if you have pets or how many kids you
Right.
have, traffic you have. But a lot of people forget, And pre-vacuuming, like we vacuum our house twice a week. Pre-vacuuming or vacuuming your house, the carpet, really helps. So even if you don't have your carpet cleaned, vacuum frequently. Definitely helps.
So I know you have a family, you're raising your son and having to balance that. I remember you mentioned, April, when you first started kind of supporting the business, it was part-time and full-time job on top of that. And how did you balance all of that? And then still, managing a team, their families, extended family.
Younger and a lot more energy because I really look back on some of those years and go, how did I do that? I don't know. It was a blur. He was a toddler when we bought the business and got everything started. It was nuts. It was really crazy. But a few years ago, I just finally said, look, we're definitely big enough now. I knew my father, who I was working for at the time as an office manager, was going to retire. So I just had to finally tell Jay, I think we need to take that leap of faith because I really have burned my candle at both ends for a little too long. So things are, I'd say, much calmer, but the business has grown so exponentially that, I stay pretty busy, but it's manageable and it's nice.
Yeah.
It is nice to work just one position now.
So now I can't get away from the boss.
Yeah, the business doesn't quite leave you, right?
There's the boss again.
Yeah. I could work from our shop. I like to be at home. It's nice. I'm comfortable
Yeah.
there. I don't
Yeah.
have a bunch of, guys coming in and out, asking questions and bothering me. I can kind of focus where I need to. So that's kind of his domain. So
Yeah, it took a lot of sacrifice at first. I was never home for a while to get it going, and then we made it work though. I mean, it's worked out.
I think that's the hardest thing for most businesses, especially when you're trying to do that as partners too. It's, finding that balance of family time and work time. And, in the beginning, you do sacrifice a lot of that. And there's a lot that he's missed out on that I feel really sad for him, but I also know what he was trying to do for us as a family. So that's something I always instill and tell our son, Dad worked very hard, to make it where, because he'll say, like, I don't remember him always being at certain things. And I'm saying, he was there in spirit, but he's here now, because we have a lot more, even though he's very tied to the business still, he has a lot more time to give, which is nice. So
Yeah.
that's
Well,
what
I mean,
I tell people if they're starting out is just hold on, get through those growing years because it does take a lot of effort, but
yeah. Yeah, I appreciate how both of you are on the same page about supporting one another that way, because that's what makes it hard if one of the partners doesn't fully understand why the sacrifice is needed, the time invested and all that, and now it's paying off, right? You're able to support the family and others significantly, and that's the thing. It's not just for you guys; it's for your team. You think about your team,
Yeah.
right? You think about your customers. Is that what keeps you motivated to keep going?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited because my guys are excited. I mean, they're not, they want to come to work and they're not like, all right. I mean, there's days, everybody has days, but 90% of the time they're excited about being at work. It's a good environment. Everybody gets along. It's just fun, you know. So, that's what I wanted the world. That's what we wanted to create when we started. Good environment, safe environment.
yeah, we've all worked for people that we would get up and go, oh, no, I
I
gotta go
got
back.
to do this today.
So, it is still a job for them. I get that. But we have really tried to create an environment where it's more like a family. So,
Yeah, for sure.
What I love about the Tallahassee community is, it's still big enough, but then small enough that everybody kind of knows one another.
Yes.
And I don't like almost everybody I mentioned, the main cleanings, like, oh yeah, I know Jay, they're great. Everybody knows you all. It's almost like local celebrities.
Yeah.
So like if you drive, you see the vans around town. It's like, oh, there goes one of his team members.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have several vans that aren't lettered, so they're brand new trucks. So we've got more out there, but people don't know who it is. But it's us.
They'll know soon.
Yeah.
Incognito. That's great. Do you have any words of advice to those considering starting and growing a business, or just a struggling entrepreneur out there thinking to like, throw in the towel?
I don't know. That's a tough one. I've had several people reach out to me, and I've got a gentleman now that started a tub refinishing business, and he was asking me how did I get to where I'm at now, and I said network. B&I groups, if you're starting off, is a key because that's what I did when I first started, and to this day, 13 years ago, the same people that I sat in front of still use me, and they refer me still. So that's key, is you got to get yourself out there. The phone's not going to ring by you sitting at home and waiting for it to ring. You got to go out and get clients. But I've actually helped him with some of my clients, some leads, and he's called me and said, hey, Jay, thank you. They're using me full time over here, over there. So now I get my thrill now is trying to help other people, not that I've made it but I'm at a position now to where I want to see other people succeed.
Yeah.
That's important to me.
I think that's the biggest thing is just if anyone's watching that's either thinking about or has already started, hang in there. And, it is have, tough times and growing things like you mentioned, but, it's really what you put into it. And Jay has put everything into it. And I will say he is truthful with what he's saying. I mean, he really wants to see everyone do well. it's not a competition to him. He wants to refer, he wants to see other people grow. So just having that spirit, kind of making it where you're not the only centered person, but you're growing what you have and then you're trying to help others. I think it all comes full circle.
Yeah.
And I would love to attribute the success of that because of April's support. Look at that. I mean, she's like giving Jay a lot of credit, but behind the scenes,
Yeah.
He could have, but it might not have been
I
seamless.
could have done it. No,
I mean, that's my parents also ran a business together. And so behind the scenes, my mom did a lot of the paperwork, the boring stuff, the hard work. My dad did the fun stuff. He went to golf with the clients and things like that. But yeah, no, I love how you guys work well together. And is there anything you'd like to end with to wrap up before we end the show? What's coming up in the season?
Yeah,
Like you,
We thank
for everything.
Tallahassee. I mean, if it wasn't for Tallahassee.
To another 20 years.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing with us too is down the road, we talked about it. We would like to leave something for our employees eventually, possibly, if, we decide to retire, we want to build a brand to where we can have something for them to stay and work because they put in so many years.
Who knows?
Mhm.
One of them could
Yeah.
take over.
And I don't want to, because we've got offered money for my company, I'm not going to lie. And I've turned it down.
yeah.
I can't do that to them. They put in so many years with us.
And we're not quite ready for
No, we're not ready
retirement.
for retirement, but it's something that I want to keep going for them eventually, and they can retire doing this also.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because sometimes, when a business owner sells, they don't realize how it impacts the team, or they thought it was going to be okay for the team, and then in the end, it did not turn out well.
Yeah.
For the team. So appreciate y'all always thinking about others first and putting everyone else first. You guys are amazing, and I really appreciate you as well supporting my business. It has been really great to work with you guys.
You're very welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Awesome. So with that, we will wrap up. Thanks for watching, guys. You guys know about multiple series. It's about JHC and Friends because I consider Jay and April good friends. And I also have my other shows, City Clips and Filipino Hustle Fridays. So please try to catch those episodes. I'll see you guys later.
Thank you.